Good morning, Shoreditch Town Hall. It's a pleasure to be here. We are all from South Korea, and we're going to talk to you today about music in the country where we're based. Yesterday, I'm not sure if any of you were in attendance at the Seoul Community Radio takeover at 93 Feet East. Can I get a show of hands? Big up all yourselves in there. As you will see from that, we showcased 7 artists from across the spectrum of Korean electronic music. And today's talk is all about how what you know as K-pop is slowly transforming and blending with the music from the City of London in terms of bass, grime, drum bass, jungle, which is powering the next phase of probably the world's most exciting form of pop music. So joined today to talk from a career perspective, as well as my own, running a radio called Seoul Community Radio in Korea. We have Tiptoe and Jun, and we know each other very well, but we're going to pretend not to know each other quite as well, so you can get a flavour of what we do. Tiptoe's a DJ, but amongst other things, a lot of things. So I'll let you introduce yourself.
Okay, so hello, my name is DJ Tiptoe. It sounds a bit weird, but yeah, and I've been doing DJ for nearly 10 years in Korea, and also having my Rinse residency show with Rinse UK. So kind of participated in UK culture and super excited to do a lot of things while we are staying here. And then Jun.
Yeah, hello. My name is Jun, and I was formerly a DJ and producer for myself, and then I joined SM Scream Records, which is a dance music label under the K-pop entertainment company, as an A&R. And I've been working in SM for like four to 5 years now, and I started as an A&R, but right now I'm also doing roles of like promoting and tour managing, and lots of other stuff too. So I'm really enjoying London right now. And
it's been nice. It's been a bit of a roller coaster ride since flying for 14 hours from Korea, but we've already seen so much talent on the show. I think for this talk we're going to dial it back. I think a good starting place is 10 years ago. This year, Seoul Community Radio is embarking on its 10th year. We're a pirate radio station at the heart, inspired by the sounds of the aerials, your Rinse FMs, your Flex FMs, which really gave people a chance to listen to music which they otherwise wouldn't on the normal mainstream airwaves. The concept of pirate radio, community radio, has proliferated around Asia, and you only need a quick Google to look at real grassroots underground electronic communities across Manila, Karachi, which all have the community radio name, which is something that we've been helping with across Asia. And 10 years ago, I came to Korea, just to go a little personal story, because actually I wasn't supposed to be the moderator. There's another moderator who was supposed to come, so I'm filling in. But I was going to start with this because it was a good thing, we all agreed. But 10 years ago, people's perception of Korea, and you can tell me if not, was not too much. There wasn't much online that people could look at in terms of what happens there culturally. In fact, the most important cultural artifact of 10 years ago was Gangnam Style, which was what people really knew was coming out of Korea. But in a way, that did sort of set an interest in K-culture going. And since then, Korea's provided some household names in the world of sport, film, culture, Heung-min Son, Parasite the movie, and of course BTS, Blackpink, aespa, who obviously are part of Jun's record label. And the actual story of Korea's cultural development is quite interlinked to its next evolution, which is sort of onboarding new forms of music, global culture, and it becoming just a general, a universal type of music. So I'll pause what I'm saying there, but I'm guessing, I think, Jun, maybe from your point of view as a maybe like part of a traditional Korean entertainment agency, which also has a very dynamic arm in Screen Records, like how have you seen K-pop, not the history of K-pop, but how have you seen K-pop like sort of develop over the years to the point where we're putting bass lines and amen breaks in music now?
So I think K-pop has been like started back in like 1996, and it's been maybe over like 20 years that have been developing from since then. And first, at the start, like other music genres, K-pop like industry of in the whole, like Koreans, they made music and made like idols and their own music, but they were following other like U.S. market or European market from outside the Korea, and it changed once when we started to like work with the other countries' producers. That when SM Entertainment first started the song camps that we have, and then that influenced K-pop to have more of a like I would say pure or more interesting sounds that has been combined to K culture. And after BTS blew up, and I think right now is a moment of where all people who work in K-pop industry and also fans are thinking of the next step of K-pop, because we've been doing things that we liked and that we are good of, but right now, we think of K-pop as more as a culture than just a music genre. So we're trying to spread it out to other genres and other like fashions and all kind of stuff that it comes out from Korea. So I think that's kind of kicked out from the New Jeans, the Super Shy.
Yeah.
Because they use like UK influence dance music stuff. And before that, it was the K-pop, the iconic stuff of K-pop was, what I have seen was being very maximal in K-pop, because we need to do choreography and dancing, and we have to like have a like look at the 13 members of the K-pop idols. So
yeah.
The song was very intense, but after New Jeans came out, we noticed that it was being like very maximal, but people also like the chill songs. So it changed a little the atmosphere around the K-pop industry. And right now, I think all other companies, not just SM, are looking new source of music that we could implement into K-pop music, and that's the moment that is happening right now, I think.
And so I think to dial it back to last night and Tiptoe, who was part of the showcase, but what did we actually showcase yesterday? Because I felt it was a super heavy, like kind of breaks, bass and drums fest with a K-pop friendly audience from the UK, with banners and all that kind of fandom, but also people were dancing hard. And for me, it represented like something quite new and fresh, especially with live artists that we had, like Blase and The Deep. So what was your experience of last night, and how does that compare to how we do things in Korea and the club scene there? What was your point of view?
I think it's a bit tricky to compare between like last night and the normal nights in Seoul, because usually when people want to see a live and see their artists, like usually people just stand by in front of the booth until their stars come out. But last night was like they just quite into K culture and the thing, so they came early and stayed till the end, which was really precious. And I think they also just wanted to get to know. Like I think like they didn't try, like tended to try, but yeah, I think they also quite impressed by like what kind of Korean DJs can offer you guys. And yeah, we normally don't just press our feeling about what kind of DJ played tonight and oh, I liked it or not, because Korean people usually don't do small talk, you know.
Yeah.
So that's a big difference. But they were like sent some messages to me on Instagram. Oh, I really love your set. So it was kind of quite touched moment. Like I felt very touched, which was really nice.
Yeah, there was some sort of a good feeling in it.
Yeah.
And then I guess for the people in the audience who, I don't know how many people have actually even been to Korea. Some people nodding their heads. But how does the sort of the Korean underground scene and the, let's say the traditional entertainment, music, industry-led model, how is that changing? Either of you can answer that one. Because this is an example of it, I'd say. One of the few.
For the K-pop industry side of view, like for the last 5 years, like decades ago, we were the ones who go out to the world and looking for like note to the publishers and writers to find some good songs that we could use or we could work with, the partner with. But like for a couple of years, it's turning like backwards. I think a lot of like producers from worldwide are actually sending DMs to me, and then other A&Rs, and they tend to learn what K-pop is, and then actually got influenced by it, and then they use it when they produce their music. And I think that the mixture of music is really happening right now. So I think that's the difference that I feel very much.
I would say so. And then how about the clubs for you, Tipto? How have you seen the music shifts over the last sort of, let's say, 5 years? Do you think stuff is moving towards a UK focus? Because we always say in Korea, like there's predominantly we always had a lot of hip hop, right?
Yeah.
Because actually, like Korea in the early 70s, like after the war, the main music that was allowed in was from America, right? Mm-hmm. So it would be a mixture of like country or like hip hop, which was coming through and energizing the kids, and you would have early like icons like Sotaji and Dynamic Duo coming through. But like hip hop was the dominant club sound.
Yeah. It still is, I think.
Yeah.
But
maybe you can elaborate on what's sort of changing.
So I think like hip hop is still mainstream in Korea and in most of countries, in my opinion. But I think that was only because we couldn't get a chance to listen to a lot of different music style, but we have internet and the things. And I actually didn't grow up with listening a lot of K-pop, so I wasn't sure, am I allowed to talk about this kind of things with you too? But I shortly had a conversation with Jun because he was pretty much the same as me. Like I was emo kid. Like I grew up with listening Apex Twin and some depressing ambient other things. But I took a moment to think about the things to talk about this, like whole everything what we are talking about right now before we came. And actually, Korean people usually consume everything super fast and. It can be a good thing, but also it's kind of hard to, like what we have as ours, like traditionally and the things, so like there's none actually, in my humble opinion, but still, when I just started to do DJ stuff like 7 years ago, like 8 years ago, we do think that it's kind of weird to play some K-pop stuff at underground clubs. But these days, after like NewJeans and aespa and every idols started to make a song related some UK style of music. Every DJs who do make their own music, they try to do remix their
Yep.
original track as soon as possible because we work fast, and I don't know how many people who try to visit Korea, but if you ever come to Korea, you probably can hear about 빨리.
Yeah.
Yeah, it means like do whatever you do, please fast. Like so, like we work like crazy. So, yeah, it's kind of competition, I would say, like just like between producers. So, it's a thing, and I think most of people started to think that it's a trendy thing to do, just remix like K-pop thing. So it's kind of pretty much related to each other way more than we ever could think about, because we normally just don't take a moment to think about how involved like K-pop culture and UK scene and everything.
Yeah, 100%. I think that the very noticeable thing on SCR, on the radio, is that as soon as there's a big track from New Jeans or Blackpink, there is that kind of race to who has the dominant remix. And I think that remix, and obviously the DJs can have a huge career off those remixes getting posted. Who do you think, what sort of artists do you like who are doing that sort of stuff, the remix cultures? Who should people be watching out for? I can think off the top of my head that, you know, Coco and Hardy are particularly good remixers and taking the K-pop into new areas, as well as remixing people like Flodan and stuff like that. So I'd urge you to check it out if you are into those music. But who else have you liked who's playing like sort of interesting stuff?
As you mentioned, Hardy and
Yeah.
also Kojist, not just because like we came here as a team with them, but
I see.
yeah, it might be better to shout out them again because
Shout out everybody.
I'm a team with them. And then another one, probably Brilliant.
He's good.
Yeah, shout out Brilliant, sort of making a bit of a comeback after some sort
Yeah,
of misfortune. And yeah, like I think just that culture is a very vibrant culture, and probably for any media in the audience, it's quite a vibrant scene that Korea has at the moment. But I feel that it's not written about maybe quite as much as it could. And yeah, we definitely urge like the conversation to take place. We've met some fantastic media on this tour, like Dazed, Notion, who are sponsors, and it's just like, yeah, it's just that the interest is there, but I would like to tell the story more. So yeah, we're definitely looking to connect with people on that front. The one other thing I thought was quite interesting was that we talk about K-pop and then we talk about the underground. But there's a whole bunch of like Korean live musicians who aren't K-pop or really underground, like say Barming Tiger, for example, and this sort of alt and indie stuff as well. We SCR would do a party at DMZ Festival, for example, which is right by the North Korean border, which sounds more dangerous than it is, but it's very much about peace. That's happening next week, but you'll see a bunch of independent indie bands as well as in electronic fusion. So what's exciting you sort of like beyond K-pop? So I sort of feel it's like K music overall. So anything that people should look out for?
Oh, people to look out for.
Yeah.
First of all, the dance music from Korea is interesting to me. And like as Rich said, like Barming Tiger, and I believe like right now is a time where like young Koreans have got influenced by YouTube and like maybe TikTok, or because when we grew up, we didn't have YouTube or such a like thing. We did have internet, but it's the amount of contents they are consuming.
Yeah.
That young kids, when they grow up, is I can just say that they have been like listening to all the music from worldwide, so it's evolving rapidly, and some of them doesn't even feel like they are Korean, like like Barming Tiger and like dance music producers like Marvista. People, if you check out Marvista's track, you will just think he's from like maybe Australia or something. And so that's the thing, very interesting. And because Korean people are very friendly with using like internet stuff. I don't know why,
Yeah.
but they tend to do so, and they are very, as Tipto said, because of the 빨리빨리 문화.
Yeah.
They try to seek for the trends that's out there, and they eat it very well, and they make it as their own stuff, and that's the thing. Maybe you could check out in YouTube or anywhere else.
Yeah, the people are less gatekeepy as well.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of a shared culture to grow the culture, which is also quite nice. Yeah, I'm thinking that like if people travel to Korea, which is getting more and more popular, like how can they enjoy more of the good K-pop culture? What's the best way for a K-pop fan to come to Korea and enjoy K-pop? Because a lot of international people love it, but perhaps don't get the chance to see it that much.
I think like for the fans of K-pop, if you come to Seoul, you can visit our office.
Yeah.
where all the K-pops are made, and the fun thing is that K-pop fans really love their music videos, and we have a spot that they actually film the music video, and like K-food and other K-contents and like stuff like that, K-culture stuff, and it's just all around the Seoul, and especially like Itaewon. The
Yep.
fun thing about Seoul is that when I go overseas, the clubs and music stuff are really like spread out throughout the city. But Seoul is a bit different because they have a
Clusters.
town that
Yeah.
have all the clubs inside or all the fashions inside.
Why
So-
is that? Why does Korea have that? Even the coffee shops are like bunched together. What is behind that?
I think it's because when like back in 80s when we were like rapidly growing, they partially like divided city with this place as a home, like people to sleep, and this place as to spend money on, and that grew up, and I think that's why it's more like combined in a small area, and I think it's a good thing because like I think Tipto will know it because like Korean DJs, they play very well because so many clubs are
Competing?
competing in a small place. So if you place like one or two tracks like bad, people will just leave out and then
Yeah.
go to other clubs.
Yeah.
So Korean DJs have been like competing with the clubs that are like 5 minutes walk away for whole their life, and so that made them to grow up very fast, I think.
Yeah, and the club owners can be very strict,
Yeah.
as we know. I think as well, we've got about 5 minutes left, and I did really want to ask some questions to the audience, but we're not allowed. But I did want to say that like Korea generally and our friends from across Asia, like it's really exciting at the moment. Like say tonight, you'll have Yeti out, which are from Hong Kong. There's Eastern Margins here who also look at the Asia diaspora, and I think that the combination of sounds with the UK is not just related to Korea as well, and they're just adding a new flavour of it. For me, it's insane to see at 93 Feet East, where I used to do parties when I was like 15 years ago, to actually have Asian DJs coming back, playing the sounds of the Pirates, the sounds of tape packs back to the original audience. It just shows how far UK music has actually come as well. So I feel that there's a shared value in it, and I think like good examples of collaboration with UK producers and Korean DJs. We got good examples of that. My one is like Spyro hit us up for give me the sickest Korean MC. We want an 8-bar, and then there's obviously I think you guys have done some stuff with Hospital Records.
Yeah,
is
we
that
did.
right?
Do you want me to explain?
Yeah, maybe a little bit.
Oh yeah. We've met Hospital Records like back in like 2023 and in ADE, and they had good interest on like widening their audience to Korea, and we did too. We wanted to bring the pure UK music sound to Korean audience, and we did an event and a song camp to produce like K-pop stuff, and it blew up. Like people loved it, and we've been working with Hospital Records to do a K-pop remix, like maybe one or two, and right now we're working on another one too. So
Nice.
And I believe like drum and bass typically people like in Korea they don't really know about drum and bass.
True.
But there were like hit songs from K-pop that has drum and the beats on it. So people don't know it's a drum and bass, but they like it. Like we had like Twice who had like top the charts with the drum and bass beat, and because Korean people love to dance and like have like good feeling, have fast, and I think that's what's resonating with the Korean audience, like K-pop fans with the UK music.
Yeah, I mean that's true. I think the general sort of switch to the new school D&B sounds like Nia Archives, Pink Panthers, all of that has obviously dovetailed. I remember time like maybe 6 years ago in Korea, you play drum and bass and people just stand still and didn't know how to dance to it. But it's all very much changing. We've got like 1 minute left, so Tiptoe, how about some closing comments from you, if you want? We can't be bothered.
Do you have any questions for me?
We're too tired from yesterday. Well, I actually want to say thank you to the audience because when we got invited by South by Southwest, we were very politely invited to talk about what's happening in our scene, and the chance to demonstrate that, both in audio form yesterday and to talk to you about it has been an absolute pleasure. I would urge anyone interested in the next level of K-pop and how we're merging it with the UK to, you can hit up Screen Records, Tiptoe herself, and Seoul Community Radio. You can tune in like every day, and the guys are working very hard to broadcast that. And hit us up afterwards because we'd love to connect and do more and spread the word of Korean music beyond what you already know. So thank you very much. We hope you have a great day at South by Southwest. See you soon. 감사합니다.